Hi there guys, Narandil here. Today we're going to be looking at the negative tenses. In the last video we looked at formation of the past tenses, so that completed our positive tenses in the present, future, past perfect and past imperfect. Now we're going to be looking at the negative counterparts. So let's return to all four of our tenses in the positive. Aras, areasse, arades, aradeones. At this point we're all familiar with aras, I create. In order to make this negative and say I don't create, we take the S from the ending and we add the negative ending sales. So aras, I create, becomes arasales, I don't create. The negative present of aras goes arasale, to not create. Arasales, I don't create. Arasale, you don't create. Arasare, kishiet doesn't create. Arasarson, we don't create. Arasarfon, you all don't create. And arasreso, they don't create. A similar thing happens for the future tense. Areasse, I will create. Areasales, I won't create. In this case, you'll see that the difference is in the vowel that's used. So arasales has the present a, and areasales has the future ea. So the negative future of areasse would be areasale, to not be about to create. Areasales, I won't create. Areasale, you won't create. Areasare, he, she, it won't create. Areasarson, we won't create. Areasarfon, you all won't create. And areasreso, they won't create. So we have here our template. Aras, you chop off the S and then you add the negative ending for the first person, sales. You do the same thing for areasse, you chop off se and you add sales. You do the same thing for the second conjugation. Kobis, cut off s and then add sales. Kobis, I feel. Kobisales, I don't feel. The same thing happens for the future. Kobese, chop off se and add sales. Kobese, I will feel. Kobesales, I won't feel. And the same thing happens for the third conjugation. Darus becomes darusales. Dariose becomes dariosales. This causes issues in the B subclasses because the same form is used for the negative present and the negative future. Vereas, I kill. Vereasales, I don't kill. Vereasse, I will kill. Vereasales, I won't kill. So vereasales can mean either I don't kill or I won't kill. Same thing happens for the 2B conjugation. Vereasales can either mean I don't live or I won't live. And the 3B conjugation. Soreosales, I don't sleep. Soreosales, I won't sleep. So how do the consonant subclasses work? Well, as ever, consonant subclasses are a little bit more complicated. So let's take engeames, I buy, engameasse, I will buy. Engeames has the broken vowel, engameasse has the unbroken vowel. The negative present has the unbroken vowel, engamasales, and the negative future also has the unbroken vowel, engameasales. Forming the negative of consonant subclasses of the first conjugation, you will always use the unbroken stem. You will then add a for the present negative, ea for the future negative, and then the negative endings. Let's move on to 2C verbs. Iales, I brood. Uarese, I will brood. We'll see here that the negative present uses the broken stem, iar, and adds a before the negative ending sales. And now the negative future, iare sales, I won't brood. So we'll see that 2C verbs use the broken stem and have a connecting a for the negative present or a for the negative future before adding the negative present and future endings. Now we can look at the 3C ioles, I criticize. Ureosse, I will criticize. These work in a similar fashion to 1C verbs in that they use the unbroken stem. So urosales, I don't criticize, and ureosales, I won't criticize. That's quite a lot of information to take in, so we're going to do this step by step. The negative present for A and B subclasses. Take the first singular in the present tense, cut off S, add negative endings. The negative future for A and B subclasses, you do a similar thing. You take the first person singular in the future, cut off se, and then add negative endings. The negative present for consonant subclasses, if it belongs to the first conjugation, use the unbroken stem plus a plus the negative ending. If it belongs to the second conjugation, use the broken stem plus a plus a negative ending. And if it belongs to the third conjugation, you do a similar thing to the first conjugation by using the unbroken stem, but you use the connecting vowel o plus negative endings. Finally, we have the negative future. You do the same thing that you do for the negative present, but you use different connecting vowels. So in the first conjugation, the connecting vowel is ea. In the second conjugation, it's a. And in the third conjugation, it's ao. The past tenses are a lot easier. You just use the past tense preceded by a negative marker, theov. Arades, I create. Theov arades, I didn't create. Aradeones, I was creating. Theov aradeones, I wasn't creating. Let's use another verb. Let's use keoris, I speak. You form the negative present in the future the same way as you would any other verb, but you'll notice here theov becomes theo. The final V of theov often disappears when the verb begins with a consonant. So instead of theov koukeoris, theo koukeoris. Whether a verb has a first past perfect or a second past perfect, it doesn't really matter. It forms its past tense in the same way. That's everything for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. In the next video, we are going to begin looking at nouns so that we can start forming some sentences. I'll see you then.